And a very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the McCoy Tennis Complex on the campus of Brevard College. Season opener for the Tornadoes as men's and women's tennis open their spring 2023 campaign and welcome in Johnson and Wales University out of Charlotte, who made the short trip up here to the mountains of western North Carolina for this matchup. We'll keep an eye throughout the afternoon on the weather. We had a bunch of rain yesterday, last night, into the morning. The rain has departed. However, the wind continues to pick up, and certainly that can be a factor in the sport of tennis. So we'll keep an eye on that. Currently 52 degrees. But even according to the National Weather Service, there's a wind advisory for the county that we're in, Transylvania County. Winds from 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 50, the potential for that. So we'll keep an eye on things there. Certainly could be a factor as these two teams get going here. The start of the 2023 season for the Brevard College Tornadoes men's and women's tennis program. Stick with us. We'll have you action and updates and lineups and all sorts of information. We'll try to get some player interviews throughout the show as well. But glad you're able to join us wherever you may be tuning in from. Brevard versus Johnson and Wales men's and women's tennis coming up shortly.
It's important to study English because language
history is everything. It's every discipline. It's music, it's art, it's economics, it's politics. And so students who study history end up with the ability to look critically at every discipline. This is a skill you can use in any field.
I chose Brevard mostly because of the experiential education, and their history program really sold me over. The variety of history.
Their head coach, Brad Jones, and then a Tornadoes chant to get this party started at the McCoy Tennis Complex. Exciting moment here as men's and women's tennis kick off their 2023 campaign. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, very windy conditions. And we'll see how these student athletes adjust to that. Johnson and Wales making the trip up from Charlotte, North Carolina. And this will kick off the season for the Tornadoes and the Wildcats. Next up for the NATOs, Wednesday at 3 p.m. right here at McCoy Tennis Complex versus Piedmont. As the two sides continue to get organized as we start playing in just a matter of moments. Stick with us here. Johnson Wales versus Brevard, men's and women's tennis coming up shortly.
Jamarcus Walker, Seneca, South Carolina. Go Tornadoes.
James Sursich, Culpeper, Virginia.
Brian Sion, Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Bryce Burnett, Pickens, South Carolina.
Noah Lewis, Anderson, South Carolina.
Jared Jones, Princeton, North Carolina.
Devin Horton, Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Ethan McGee, Salisbury, North Carolina. Peter Bresco, Jacksonville, Florida. Go Natives.
Action now officially underway. Brevard versus Johnson & Wales, men's and women's tennis season opener. Looking at court number 2 at the moment. As final warm-ups wrapping up there. So we're just minutes away from really getting things started here. On your closest court that you see on your screen now, that's court number 2 here at the McCoy Tennis Complex. That's number 1 women's doubles play, Ali Kogoy and Hannah Hirsch. They're taking on Kendall Conrad and Jacqueline Rogers of the Wildcats. So we'll be able to bring you some up close and personal number 1 women's doubles play. The other doubles pairings for the women's side, Brooke Garland and Sophie Trantham are the number 2 doubles team for the Tornadoes. They'll be facing Gabby Tully and Courtney Newton. And then the number 3 doubles team of Hamrick Perry and Savannah Anderson, they'll be taking on Hannah Stokes and Erin Widener. Now, men's doubles, just moments away from getting started as well. Final warm-ups taking place there. On the court just beyond the number 1 women's doubles match that you see in front of you is court number 1 here at the McCoy Tennis Complex. That's the number 1 doubles matchup of Ethan McGee and Noah Lewis of the Tornadoes. They'll take on the number 1 doubles teams of JWU, Sam Wilder and Dylan Height. Number 2 doubles for the Tornadoes men, Bryce Burnett and Devin Horton. They're taking on John Millwood and Sam Cicerello. And number 3 doubles matches up the team of James Sursich and Jamarcus Walker for the Tornadoes against Devontae Hill and Wilder Noyes for the Wildcats. So some final strategy being discussed amongst the doubles teammates. You see Ali Kogoy and Hannah Hirsch there, number 1 doubles teams for the Tornadoes, and they're in the gray tops and the blue shorts, while Johnson Wales is wearing the blue tops. Weather a factor with heavy wind gusts at times. You can even notice there one of the Johnson & Wales players has got long sleeves and long pants on to try to combat the weather. So just moments away from getting started here. 2:04 p.m. Eastern Time. Tornadoes and Wildcats. And Johnson & Wales will serve first. First serve long, so second serve opportunity here. Hannah Hirsch returning the serve for the Tornadoes. And misplayed there, and it'll be 15-love Johnson & Wales. Credit the service ace there to the Wildcats. So, second point of the match coming up here. Ali Kogoy returning. Couple forehand returns there from Kogoy before she approached the net and unable to execute that volley. 30-love Wildcats. Second serve opportunity once again here for Hirsch on the returning end of this Wildcat serve. Meanwhile, men's action's underway on court number 1. It's the number 1 men's team of McGee and Lewis for the Tornadoes. Once again, both players for the Tornadoes up at the net in volley position, however, unable to find the winner. 40-love game point for the Wildcats. Great to see plenty of members of the Brevard College community out here despite the windy conditions. A lot of excitement around this season opener and a big return there. The return of the serve by Kogoy. Top spin, power, 15-love. Check that 40-15 now. Hirsch with the return here. You can see the wind a factor on so many of these strokes, and then a winner there from Hirsch. So 30-40. Tornadoes working their way back into this one. Kogoy keeping this point alive, and then the Tornadoes have worked their way all the way from a 40-love disadvantage to now deuce here in the first game of this match. Number 1 doubles is what you're watching right in front of you. Number 1 men's doubles just beyond that. So deuce. So we're just getting started here. Still in the first game of the match over in that number 1 men's doubles as well. And a winner there from Kogoy. Some aggressive play at the net there, and the finish by Kogoy. And just like that, 4 consecutive points from the Tornadoes, digging themselves out of that hole, and now game point opportunity here for early tone setter. First service into the net there, so second serve coming up. Kogoy returning. Big return there from Kogoy in the winner, and credit the game to the Tornadoes. Come all the way back from a 40-love disadvantage to win the first game of this one. So big time rally there by the number one women's doubles team in that opening game. Kogoy and Hirsch working their way back. Down 40 love. And then 5 consecutive points. Forcing deuce. And then winning the game. Take an early 1-0 lead. And you could just feel the momentum throughout that opening game. Meanwhile, it looks like an early 1-0 lead for the Tornadoes men's doubles team as well. Ethan McGee and Noah Lewis with a 1-0 advantage. So the Tornadoes were able to break the serve of Johnson & Wales in the men's side just like the women did. And now first service opportunity for the Tornado men's number one team is Noah Lewis with the honors. We'll be telling you all about these Tornadoes throughout this broadcast. And now first service opportunity for the number one women's doubles team as Kogoy able to earn a winner there, and that's 6 consecutive points for the NATO's number one doubles team. Point there for the team of Conrad and Rogers for Johnson Wales. So that snaps that 6 consecutive point streak for the NATO's number one doubles team. 15 all. Wind actually calming down at the moment, however, gusting at times and certainly a factor for these student athletes. NCAA Division III competition, men's and women's tennis here at the beautiful McCoy Tennis Complex. And a service ace there for Ali Kogoy. So now a look also at the number 3 men's doubles action of James Sursich and Jamarcus Walker for the Tornadoes. So we'll be trying to bring the action from throughout here at the McCoy Tennis Complex, as many updates as we can as well, as action continues. One of the benefits of the McCoy Tennis Complex with its 12 courts is you can play both men's and women's matches simultaneously, and really for the sake of time accomplish a lot, whereby at some facilities you have to play the women's side perhaps first and then the men's side, and it can be a much longer afternoon winner there. Jacqueline Rogers. Rogers, by the way, when this match started, had long sweatpants on, trying to battle the cold and the wind gust. Now with the white hat, black shorts. Her teammate Kendall Conrad, another serve here from Kogoy. And count that point for the Tornadoes as well. And that's another. Well, actually, just taking a break, I think. I think it's still this, yes, a equipment change there. So a racket change for Kendall Conrad of JWU. And another service here. Game point for Kogoy and company. Hirsch, backhand volley there. Then a backhand volley from Kogoy. And it's a winner, 2-0 Tornadoes in number 1 doubles. So good early start here for the Tornadoes. Once again, that first game was very compelling. Started off 40-0 for the Wildcats team of Conrad and Rogers, and then Kogoy and Hirsch able to battle back, winning the game with 5 consecutive points. Had a 6th consecutive point to start off game number 2, and then with the service of Kogoy able to win that second game, 2-0 NATOs here in number 1 women's doubles. And service here for Kendall Conrad. Fun time of year here at Brevard College, coming to the tail end of the men's women's basketball season. Women's team will host a USA South Conference tournament game on Tuesday. Men still jockeying for position for postseason play as well. More spring sport action this weekend. The men's lacrosse team is in Virginia for 2 matches there to start off their regular season. Women's lacrosse has its opener at 11 a.m. on Sunday here at Isla Family Field. Baseball with its opening day at Gilcone Field. That's a doubleheader that begins at noon on Sunday. And softball begins its season on the road as well on Sunday. So spring sports in full bloom as we're officially underway here with the spring sport schedule. Those of us in the industry refer to this time as crossover season, as both the basketball winter sports are taking place still while the spring sports are underway also. You can see the wind a factor there as that ball bounced up, but Hirsch was able to adjust and come up with a finish. Hannah Hirsch, well done there. And a 3-0 advantage now for the Tornadoes, who seem to suddenly be cruising after that early game 1 deficit, down 40-0 to start this match, but have looked great ever since. Meanwhile, Noah Lewis getting it done there in number 1 men's doubles. taking a look around the McCoy Tennis Complex. You're looking at court number 2, the number 1 doubles women's team of Allie Kogoy and Hannah Hirsch. Court number 1 just beyond them, number 1 men's doubles Ethan McGee and Noah Lewis. The courts just beyond that are courts number 3 and 4, Bryce Burnett and Devin Horton versus John Millwood and Sam Cicerello of the Wildcats. That's men's doubles number 2. And also women's doubles number 2 action, Brooke Garland and Sophie Trantham against Gabby Tully and Courtney Newton. That's on court number 4. Then we'll be doing our best to bring you some action. In fact, we can take a quick look now. We'll try to get you a look of James Sursich and Jamarcus Walker. They're on court number 8. There's a look there. Sursich and Walker against Devontae Hill and Wilder Noyes. And then court number 7, just alongside them, number 3 doubles. On the women's side, Hamrick Perry and Savannah Anderson against Hannah Stokes and Erin Widener of the Wildcats. So service here for Hannah Hirsch. Our apologies there as try to figure out our camera locations. Meanwhile, Hannah Hirsch back in action here on the service. Then a finish there from Hirsch, and you can hear the rebel yell from Allie Kogoy as the momentum has shifted. Tornadoes up 3-0, looking to break the serve once again. Meanwhile, Lewis going back to work in number 1 men's doubles. Wind gusts have slowed down once again, but you never know when they're going to crop up in this mountain valley location that we're in. Service here from Rogers. And then that lands just in. So nicely done there by the Wildcats. Johnson & Wales University out of Charlotte. Primarily a culinary school. And service here from Rogers. Returning will be Kogoy. You're watching number 1 doubles action on the women's side. Johnson Wales and Brevard. And a winner there from Kogoy, showing that power with that forehand. Wind now picking up once again. It's actually a wind advisory according to the National Weather Service for this area. Certainly difficult conditions for these student athletes in the sport of tennis. 3-0 advantage for the Tornadoes. Another big return there from Kogoy. Now Hirsch with the overhand winner. A big high five between Kogoy and Hirsch. So the service continuing here for Jacqueline Rogers. That big forehand once again from Kogoy. Now Kogoy rushing the net. And then a winner able to get that past Hirsch by Rogers. Nicely done. Getting past the volley. Winner there, and you can hear the excitement from Hirsch and Kogoy battling here, looking to take a 4-0 advantage. Meanwhile, it looks like a tighter battle over there in number 1 men's doubles. Lewis and McGee against Wilder and Height. There's a big winner once again from Kogoy, and that'll be a game point successfully executed by the Tornadoes, who are starting to pull away here, now up 4-0 in number 1 women's doubles. Well, if you haven't checked it out already, the McCoy Tennis Complex was featured on a recent Facility Friday feature from the USA South Conference. You can find that on the USA South Conference YouTube page and also at usasouth.net. Just a wonderful piece as the facility was featured, and also the work that's been done on the interior of the McCoy Tennis Complex. I'm looking inside the window right now. Maybe we can even give a look of the interior at some point during the broadcast, but art, including some custom art of a white squirrel, which is so synonymous here with Brevard, North Carolina and Transylvania County. All sorts of historical notes and mementos of the history of the Brevard College tennis program, and then all sorts of slogans that the team rallies behind. But it's all done in a artistic fashion. You have to credit also member of SAC, Brooke Garland, really taking a lot of the initiative on that. Garland's currently playing number 2 women's doubles, and student athlete led project that has resulted in a beautiful makeover of the interior of the McCoy Tennis Complex. So welcome you also, if you haven't had a chance to get out here, just come on by and check out the facility, check out these student athletes in action. They'll be back in action on Wednesday versus Piedmont, as the service will go back to the Tornadoes now, seeing if they can continue their shutout of the Wildcats. First serve from Kogoy, long. Second serve opportunity coming up. winner there. Very nicely done by Kendall Conrad. Able to get that past Hirsch. Taking a quick look now. Men's action, James Sursich and Jamarcus Walker. That's number 3 men's doubles. Kogoi service continues. Update from number 3 men's doubles, 4-1. Team of Sursich and Walker over Hill and Noyes. Now we're giving you a look of Hamrick Perry and Savannah Anderson taking on Hannah Stokes and Aaron Widener. Meanwhile, seems like the Tornadoes in control in most of these matches. 3-2 the score with the Tornadoes on top, Perry and Anderson at the moment. See if we can get you some scores from number 2 men's doubles and number 2 women's doubles as well. Certainly feels like Tornadoes off to a good start overall. Head in the majority of the matches that we're able to get updates on thus far. Hirsch now returning the serve for the Tornadoes. Her return sails long, so point for the Wildcats. We're trying to claw their way back into this number 1 women's doubles match. So some more updates around the McCoy Tennis Complex. Appreciate Cass Hutto doing a lot of the legwork here. Bryce Burnett and Devin Horton with a 3-2 advantage over Millwood and Cicerello. That's number 2 men's doubles. And also comfortable lead for the team of Britt Garland and Sophie Trantham. They're over on court number 4. They're ahead 5-2 over the team of Gabby Tully and Courtney Newton. So it looks like we're in the driver's seat from the Tornadoes' perspective. And all 6 doubles matches currently taking place across men's and women's action. That'll be another point for the Tornadoes there. As Kendall Conrad continues her service. Also appreciate the help of Jock Pledger behind the scenes. We'll see Jock in action along with the Tornado baseball team this weekend at Toccoa Falls on Saturday, Sunday at opening day at Gilcone Field. But stick with us. We'll bring you more action and updates from here at the McCoy Tennis Complex. Doubles continues to motor along here between the Wildcats and the Tornadoes.
Sophie Trantham, Charlotte, North Carolina, go Nados.
Kogoy, Boone, North Carolina.
Savannah Anderson, Jackson, Michigan.
Cameron Perry, Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Brooke Garland, Canton, North Carolina.
Marina Thompson, Augusta, Georgia.
Melanie Ferguson, Gloucester, Virginia.
Hannah Hirsch, Estero, Florida, go Nados!
Graduate of the Wilderness Leadership and Experiential Education program is equipped with the core skills to be successful in any field. So what can students do after they graduate? Anything they want.
I think that Brevard College's Wilderness Leadership and Experiential Education program is better than other programs because of the quality of the teachers.
Students come to us with a question and they leave not with an answer, but with more curiosity about what else is out there. And I think that's what's most important for a college experience, is not to graduate with all the answers, but to graduate with a curiosity and a desire to seek better answers.
Anna Hirsch serving for the Tornadoes. Going to finish off this #1 doubles match. Tornadoes well in control here. Looks like the men's #1 doubles has just gone final. See if we can get you a final score from that. Ethan McGee and Noah Lewis for the NATOs. You can see some instruction there from head coach Brad Jones. As Tornadoes now ahead. I believe it's 7-1 here in #1 women's doubles. Encouraging start so far for the Brevard College men's and women's tennis teams. Hirsch with the big backhand, and then the finish there from Kogoy at the net. The full volley with the forehand, making it very tough on the Wildcats to keep that point alive. And Tornadoes starting to smell victory here in doubles play. So some more updates here. Tornadoes winning ways continue. Hamrick Perry and Savannah Anderson over on court #7, an 8-2 final score. The victory over the team of Stokes and Widener for Johnson and Wales. So a 1-0 advantage officially for the women's side in the team competition. And then the team of James Sursich and Jamarcus Walker with a win as well, an impressive 8-1. Final score over Hill and Noyes. So 1-0 advantage there for the Tornadoes as well. Actually make it 2-0 as also that win in #1 doubles. See some of this as the doubles action finishes up. You see players heading to different locations, different courts here at the McCoy Tennis Complex, getting ready for singles play. See if we could maybe even sneak in an interview with one of the winning Tornadoes following the doubles action as we continue to watch the #1 women's doubles team of Hirsch and Kogoy go at it. So more final scores. The team of Brooke Garland and Sophie Trantham, 8-4 win over the team of Tully and Newton. So that's number 2 double, so 2-0 Tornadoes up in team play. And then it is official that number 1 double scorer on the men's side, McGee and Lewis, 8-2 over Wilder and Height. So a 2-0 advantage. We're watching the last women's doubles action as Jacqueline Rogers with the winner there, and you can hear that emotion as she's not ready to let this thing go yet. So number 1 doubles on the women's side, and also number 2 doubles on the men's side. Bryce Burnett and Devin Horton still underway. You can see some of the spectators kind of finding some different positions as well. See if we can effort a interview here in just a matter of moments as well. Love to talk to a member of one of these winning double teams from Brevard College. And there's another final for the doubles, as well as the number 1 double teams of Kogoy and Hirsch with the victory. All right. Pleased to be joined now by Noah Lewis, a member of that number 1 men's doubles team, an 8-2 victory over Sam Wilder and Dylan Height. Noah, congratulations on the season opening win here in the spring season. Tell us how the match went for you and Ethan.
First, started off a little rocky, but we started getting our strokes down. We listened to our coaches, and they helped us out a little bit to get that little lead off, and from there we were just able to place our strokes better than our opponents and have better serve games, and it allowed us to get the win today.
The conditions today, wind certainly a factor at times, heavy wind gusts. That I don't know if you realize this, but the National Weather Service actually has a wind advisory for Transylvania County at the moment, so some serious wind gusts at times. Tell us how that was a factor.
Depending on the ball type, serves you have to wait on the ball a little bit. Like sometimes you'd have to wait a second, but we use the wind to our advantage. We try to practice in the wind a lot. That way we get used to getting these points in to where we can pick on our opponent's weaknesses with the wind or against the wind. So it helps us get a better angle on the court and use the wind to our advantage.
Yeah, and is it something that you all at times have the opportunity to practice with? I know it's not ideal to play in windy conditions, but you know there's practice days where the wind comes in strong and you're probably able to kind of get a feel for it.
Yeah, luckily this week it was really windy, so it allowed us to get a lot of play in the wind, and I think that's what helped us out here today. Because if usually when it's summer or like nice weather, we're able to play normally, but when it's wind, there's a lot of factors that go into playing tennis in the wind, so you got to be on top of your A game, just be able to use it to your advantage.
An 8-2 win by the team of Noah Lewis, who we're talking to now, and Ethan McGee. Tell us a little more about you two as a team. You know, how long and how experienced you guys are working together, and then what do you think you bring as a team in terms of that number 1 doubles team?
Well, the funny thing is we actually were roommates last year, and we're actually roommates this year, so it allows us to build a connection on and off the court. And we kind of have the same playing style, so it's easier for us to get along with each other, and it's just easier to communicate because we're always with each other. And I know his weaknesses, he knows mine, so we can place the ball very well to where we can focus more on them attacking our strengths instead of our weaknesses.
Overall, team's excited, I would imagine, finally getting the season underway. I saw you guys, pre-match really, feeling good about things.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
just tell us about kind of the energy and the mood of, the entire program, men's and women's tennis, as far as, hey, it's finally here. We can finally get the season started.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this for a while now. We've all had great energy, as you can hear. The girls are pretty hyped up about winning. We had to have a little meeting in the locker room before we came out here to get all the guys hyped. The girls did the same, and that allowed us to come out here with great energy to where we're not thinking negative on the court and just have positive energy on and off.
Well, it looks like as our audience is hearing now from Noah Lewis, another win on the doubles women's side. Hey, there's your fellow #1 doubles team, Allie Kogoy and Hannah Hirsch, a victory there. So the women's side with a 3-0 lead. Tell us a little bit about those two, Allie and Hannah, and what they bring to the table.
They're really good playing together. They use their advantages very well. Allie is a very strong hitter, so is Hannah, and they use that to feed off each other back when they're playing, and it allows them to get the greater lead on the players. As you can see, like the opponents, they weren't very too energized, but over here we have a positive energy. That way we stay inside the game and just allow us to get the victory.
Yeah, I don't know if you realized it, Noah, but in the first game of that #1 women's doubles match, the Tornadoes had a 0-40 deficit. They won 5 consecutive points, able to win that first game, and were able to sail to victory from that point forward. So kind of an interesting start for the Tornadoes, but able to turn it around quickly. Back to the men's side, and what's next for you, Noah? I'm sure you're ready to get focused for singles play. Tell us, what you're focused on for the rest of this afternoon.
I'm focused on just getting more shots than my opponent and just keeping the ball in play. That way I don't go for too many big shots and force him to make the errors, so I don't make the unforced errors. And just go in there with a positive mindset. Even if I lose, just come out knowing that I tried my best and gave my 100%.
Outstanding. Well, Noah Lewis and Ethan McGee, an 8-2 season opening win in #1 men's doubles. Congrats on that, Noah. Best of luck in singles play.
Thank you.
Very good. Noah Lewis able to join us there. Really appreciate his time and great insight as far as that winning combination of McGee and Lewis in #1 doubles. So it seems like there's one doubles match remaining, #2 men's doubles. We'll see if we can get you an update there. But you could hear from Noah Lewis just how excited both the men's and women's teams were as far as getting this season underway. A lot of focus, a lot of energy, also some familiarity with these windy conditions. And it all adds up to the women taking a 3-0 lead after doubles play. The men currently up 2-0 with one match remaining in doubles play. Then we'll get singles play underway. You can see a lot of the spectators heading over towards that remaining doubles match. Kind of a cool part of college tennis is, when there's that one match left, whether it be doubles or singles, your fellow teammates make their way over there and you suddenly have a bigger cheering section than when the match started. But good start here for the Brevard College Tornadoes. Early advantage on both the men's and women's side. So actually, clearly the closest match we've seen so far in doubles play, a 6-5 advantage at the moment for the team of Millwood and Cicerello on court number 3 over Bryce Burnett and Devin Horton. So stick with us. We'll bring you that final score once it goes final. We'll bring you the singles action as well, and hopefully some more interviews before the day's done. Also, great to hear from Noah Lewis, a member of that #1 men's doubles team. Stick with us. Johnson & Wales and Brevard College men's women's tennis at the McCoy Tennis Complex, live from Brevard, North Carolina.
Graduate of the Wilderness Leadership and Experiential Education program is equipped with the core skills to be successful in any field. So what can students do after they graduate? Anything they want.
I think that Brevard College's Wilderness Leadership and Experiential Education program is better than other programs because of the quality of the teachers.
Students come to us with a question and they leave not with an answer, but with more curiosity about what else is out there. And I think that's what's most important for a college experience, is not to graduate with all the answers, but to graduate with a curiosity and a desire to seek better answers.
So all the doubles action is now complete. An 8-6 victory for the Johnson & Wales team of John Millwood and Sam Cicerello. They defeat Bryce Burnett and Devin Horton 8-6. So 2-1 the advantage in team competition on the men's side. The women with a 3-0 advantage. So now the teams will regroup and head into singles play. We'll be catching up on all of that in just a moment. At the end of doubles play in men's competition, Brevard 2, Johnson & Wales 1, and in women's competition, Brevard 3, Johnson & Wales 0. Stick with us. Singles competition coming up next.
It's important to study English because language
history
Action continuing here at the McCoy Tennis Complex. Singles play underway. Court number 2 is the court directly in front of your camera angle, and that's where Hannah Hirsch is taking on Jacqueline Rogers of Johnson & Wales. Hirsch now returning the serve. The 3-0 lead in this number 1 singles match. Court just beyond number 1 women's singles. That's number 1 men's singles, Bryce Burnett and Sam Wilder. Burnett of the Tornadoes with an early lead there as well. And we'll continue to bring you action as women with a 3-0 lead. Tornadoes atop the Wildcats after doubles play, and then 2-1 on the men's side. More women's singles action taking place around here throughout the McCoy Tennis Complex. Allie Kogoy against Gabby Tully. That's number 2 women's singles over on court number 4. Court number 8 features number 3 singles player for the Tornadoes, Brooke Garland. She's taking on Kendall Conrad. Also number 4 singles, Sophie Trantham against Courtney Newton. That's over on court 12. Court 10 featuring the number 5 singles matchup of Hamrick Perry and Hannah Stokes. Several seniors in action on the women's side. Allie Kogoy, Brooke Garland, and Hamrick Perry. All seniors currently in action on women's singles. Meanwhile, we mentioned Bryce Burnett in that number 1 singles matchup. Number 2 men's singles is Ethan McGee for the Tornadoes. Over on court number 3, he's taking on John Millwood. Devin Horton, number 3 singles on court 7, taking on Sam Cicerello. Noah Lewis versus Dylan Height on court 11. That's number 4 singles. James Sursich on court number 9. That's number 5 singles against Devontae Hill. And then number 6 singles featuring Brian Sion versus Wilder Noyes. By the way, it's Brian Sion's birthday today. So he's got a whole cheering section here for him on his B-Day. They are fired up to will Brian to victory. And what better birthday present than a day doing what he loves out here at McCoy Tennis Complex with all of his supporters with him. So stick with us. We'll bring you more updates from the McCoy Tennis Complex. Singles action underway. Tornadoes in control after doubles play. 3-0 on the women's side. 2-1 on the men's side after doubles play. Singles play continuing here at the McCoy Tennis Complex. Back here at the McCoy Tennis Complex, Tornadoes and Wildcats continue to battle in this season opening match for Brevard College. In case you're just joining us, the Tornadoes women swept doubles competition. Team of Allie Kogoy and Hannah Hirsch with a 8-3 victory in number one doubles. Brooke Garland and Sophie Trantham also won by the score of 8-3 in number two doubles. Number three doubles, also a win, Hamrick Perry and Savannah Anderson, 8-2. And the Tornadoes decisively taking a 3-0 lead after doubles play into singles competition. On the women's side, wins in on the men's side, wins in number one doubles, Ethan McGee and Noah Lewis winning 8-2. James Sursich and Jamarcus Walker with an 8-4 win in number three doubles. Number two doubles went to Johnson and Wales on the men's side. John Millwood and Sam Cicerello defeating Bryce Burnett and Devin Horton 8-6. That was the closest doubles match of the six that we saw across men's and women's play. Now you're watching singles action. As Hannah Hirsch is in control here in number one singles, also a lead in number one men's singles as well. Bryce Burnett there, so Tornadoes look in control on both the men's and the women's side in team competition on a windy and increasingly chilly Friday afternoon here in the mountains of western North Carolina. Glad you're able to join us wherever you may be tuning in from. As a highly anticipated season opener for the Tornadoes now officially underway. We'll see if we can find you some more updates from throughout the McCoy Tennis Complex. Stick with us. Tornadoes and Wildcats, men's and women's tennis. Joined now by Sophie Trantham of the Brevard College women's tennis team. Sophie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, a 6-0, 6-1 win. You just came off the court on the singles side in number 4 singles, the win over Courtney Newton. How'd your singles match go this afternoon?
It was really good. I just, kept my mind straight, and I went for the ball, and I just tried to place it to where she wasn't at. So.
Yeah, and how about these windy conditions? This is pretty exceptional in terms of these wind gusts.
It was a little harder to hit the ball. I hit a few that were way out, and I was just like, ugh. But, you can't really control it. You just got to keep the ball low and then try to use as much spin as you can.
Yeah, and I've noticed that a couple times. Sometimes, just because of the wind, it just totally gets away from you. You just kind of have to accept that and say, like, hey, this isn't the norm.
Yeah, you got to shake it off. You can't let it get in your head, or it's going to mess with your mental game.
Earlier, you had a win along with your doubles teammate, Brooke Garland, 8-3, the victory in number 2 doubles, part of a 3-0 doubles sweep by the Tornadoes. Tell us about your doubles match.
It went really well. Brooke and I, we complement each other pretty good in our playing abilities. She can place the ball really good, and then I can poach at the net. We get along pretty well. I love playing with her. She's a great person, and yeah.
I spoke to Noah Lewis earlier, and I asked him this. This is the season opener for the spring 2023 season. You guys have been working hard. You've been out here in all sorts of conditions, and you've been waiting for this day to come. How does it feel to finally get this one underway?
It's really good. I'm really thankful that my parents are here and that they could watch me play. I'm ready for the rest of the season. Hopefully not as windy and as cold. I'm super looking forward to Hilton Head and playing with the team down there and bonding and everything, so it's going to be a good season.
Outstanding. Criminal justice major.
Yes.
Tell us a little more about your studies.
Well, my dad, he's a fingerprint examiner in the crime lab in Charlotte, so I wanted to do something in forensics. I'm thinking forensic DNA or something like that. Still not 100% sure. I kind of want to be a physical therapist, so it's like I don't know what I want to do yet. So just exploring.
Yeah, perfect place to figure all that out. So some great programs here at Brevard College. Tell us a little bit about what's still going on as far as action here at the McCoy Tennis Complex. What are the things you're noticing? What are some of the matches you're keeping an eye on?
Well, Hannah's right in front of us, and she looks like she's doing pretty good. She won the first set, and she's up 5-0 right now. And then you have Bryce over at 1 as well. He won the first set, and I can't really see. I think he just started the second set.
That's correct, yep.
So, and then we got Allie and Ethan down on 2. Noah's still on 4. And then I saw Brooke. She was doing pretty good over there. She was getting to some tough balls. And then we got Hamrick and Melody up there. And then we got Brian, the birthday boy, playing over there. So,
that's right, the birthday boy. How much fun is that for you all to be able to play a match on a day that one of you celebrating a birthday?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Last Friday was my birthday. We were a week apart and we were best friends. So
happy birthday.
Thank you. And we had a good practice on my birthday, and now we're out here having a match on his. So it's a lot of fun. We get to cheer him on, and it's a good day, and we're going to get cake later. So.
Yeah, it creates a real kind of festive, happy vibe around the McCoy Tennis Complex. Last one, just a wonderful job by the entire team. I know your doubles teammate, Brooke Garland, was a big part of kind of organizing it all, but the new look inside the McCoy Tennis Complex.
It's
Tell us
so
more.
Nice. So we spent the Super Bowl in there, and we watched the Super Bowl together with our big TV. We all painted the walls. In the locker room, there's little, it's like a crossword with a word that each one of us picked that describes the team. So that's in there. We have a ladder wall, which is we challenge each other to go up and down the ladder. So it's kind of just to get out here and play more. And then we have the awards wall for like not scholarships, but the ITA Scholar Award. And then like past tennis players from a long time ago that I don't even know who they are, but it's pretty cool because they get recognized because that was so long ago. And then there's an honor wall or something. It's something called
Very
like
cool.
that. Yeah, and Coach Jones is on there and some past coaches as well.
So it tells the history of Brevard College tennis, but it also has this current feel because, the slogans that you all use and that kind of thing are all represented. There's even some artwork of a white squirrel, which is gorgeous.
It's pretty cool. I didn't know about that. I don't know who made it. I think maybe Brooke or someone. I'm not sure, but it is really cool.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I'm glad you and your fellow student athletes have that as a great spot to not only, rest up in between matches, but also just gather as a team. And fantastic to be back out here with you all. We're excited for what the season's going to bring. So far, so good this afternoon. Tornadoes in control. Great job today, Sophie.
Thank
Winner
you.
on both the doubles and singles side, and can't wait to catch up with you again soon.
Thank you.
All right, there she goes, Sophie Trantham. Great job from her after winning singles play 6-0, 6-1 over Courtney Newton in number 4 singles, and then she also teamed with Britt Garland for a win in number 2 doubles, 8-3 the victory there. Tornadoes well in control across the board. As looks like Hannah Hirsch just won her match as well. And the Tornadoes cruising towards victories in both men's and women's tennis here in this season opener. Well, joined now by Hannah Hirsch, winning number 1's single. Hannah, congratulations on that win as well as your win in number 1's doubles play.
Phil.
Yeah, great to have you with us. Tell us about your singles match first.
Well, my main goal was to get my first serve in and just hit it to the corner of the court because she's expecting me to hit it right back to her. So I figured if I hit it away, then she's on the run and I get an easy high ball and just take it back where she's not.
We were speaking with your teammate Sophie Trantham while you finished up there. What was the final score in singles play?
6-1, 6-0.
6-1, 6-0. Outstanding. Question I had for Sophie, obviously it's a big storyline today. The wind, it picks up at times. It's hard to, probably for the viewer at home to realize just how considerable this is. These are heavy, heavy gusts.
Yeah.
And how did that affect your play? Did you have to adjust a little yourself?
Mainly if there's wind involved, it's just bigger target play. Rather than aiming for the lines, you aim more inside the court. And, my targets were on point today, so.
And then, was it something you guys are able to, obviously weather dependent, but prepare for, when it does get windy and you guys are out here for a practice day?
Some of our practices are windier than this, so it's really good practice for us for a match day. I know last year for LaGrange it was super windy, and the practices helped us to get used to it.
Outstanding. Well, we were able to bring our viewers a lot of your doubles match along with your teammate Ali Kogoy. And now, what was interesting to me was game 1 of the match, the Tornadoes found themselves down 0-40, came all the way back, ended up winning, getting the deuce, getting, the advantage, ended up winning that game, and then cruised from there. But an early hole there that you guys dug yourselves out of.
Yeah. That one I know I was extremely nervous, and when it was 40 love, I remember telling Allie we just had to shake it off and play our best game.
And you guys definitely did, no doubt about that. Tell us a little bit about this team of Hirsch and Kogoy, your chemistry, how you guys feed off each other.
Well, Allie is a real energetic person, and so if I cheer her on, I know she's going to cheer me on, and so it's that energy that feeds into each other, actually. And even off the court, we support each other through the classroom, even through practice, and that's what helps me with the doubles play, is her cheering me on.
Outstanding. Hannah Hirsch, sophomore out of Estero, Florida. Tell us a little bit about that, as far as coming from Florida, now up here in the mountains of western North Carolina. How are you liking it up here?
It's a very different scenery, but it's so beautiful up here. I do miss the beach a lot, but it's nothing compared to hiking and going to swim in a waterfall. That's very different, and I enjoy it up here.
Very good. And health science and chemistry double major, correct?
Yep.
Tell us even more about your studies, what your aspirations are beyond graduation eventually here at Brevard College.
So after I graduate, I want to go to grad school to become a pharmacist, and so doing health science would allow me to graduate early, but I want to stay the 4 years and play tennis all 4 years. So I added a double major for chemistry, and so that could also help me further with the pharmacy school.
Fantastic. Couple more before I let you go and cheer on your teammates on these final couple matches here. You know, the unity of men's and women's tennis. You know, it's one of your birthdays today. Brian Sion is celebrating a birthday, so there's that vibe going on. But just the kind of the kind, fun environment that is here at the tennis complex is kind of contagious in a way. Tell us about this. You know, how you guys get along so well. Like you said, I see guys all over campus too, hanging out and having fun.
I'm extremely lucky that the women's and the men's get to practice together. And I know after every practice, we're always at the CAF doing a team dinner. And every other Friday, we're doing Food Fridays. We started that at the beginning of the season. And I know if someone has a ceremony outside of school, whether it's for academics or choir or other stuff in the musics, we always go and we support them. And I like the sense that we have a family because, I mean, being away from Florida, it's a big difference. And now I have a second family. It's people I can look up to.
Outstanding. Really well said, Hannah Hirsch. 6-1, 6-0 winner in singles, playing number one singles, number one doubles. 8-3 with Ali Kogoy. What a great start for the Tornadoes this season. Last one, just finally the season's underway. You know, you guys have been practicing in, like you said, all sorts of conditions, windier days than this, cold conditions, damp, all these things.
Yeah.
Finally, the season's here. We are off and running. How does that feel?
It feels, nerve-wracking since we're just starting, but also exciting because we get to show the other teams what we get. And we also get, we're going to go into a harder conference, and I think that's really going to help us push ourselves to become even better than what we already are. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, a lot to be excited about. Hannah Hirsch, really appreciate you joining us
Thanks
this
for having
afternoon.
me.
Congrats again
Thank you.
for a great start to the 2023 season. Can't wait to see what's around the corner, and we'll be following every step of the way.
Thank you, Babe.
All right, Hannah Hirsch joining us this afternoon. Really appreciate her. And glad you were able to join us as well this afternoon for this edition of Brevard College Men's and Women's Tennis. The men's and women's team both cruising toward season opening victories over Johnson & Wales University. I believe the women have already clinched. Might be the case with the men as well, as the last few matches wrap up here. But Tornadoes swept doubles play in the women's competition. Wins by Ali Kogoy and Hannah Hirsch, who we just spoke to. Brooke Garland, Sophie Trantham won in number 2 doubles. Number 3 doubles went to Hamrick Perry and Savannah Anderson. Wins by Sophie Trantham. Hannah Hirsch in singles play have come through, and looks like Tornadoes in control in virtually every other match here at the McCoy Tennis Complex. Men's side, a 2-1 lead after doubles play. Wins by Ethan McGee and Noah Lewis in number 1 doubles. James Sursich and Jamarcus Walker with the win in number 2 doubles. Or check that, number 3 doubles. Number 2 doubles went to Johnson & Wales. And then the early win, this was a rapid, quick work by James Sursich. 6-0, 6-0 in number 5 singles, and Tornadoes in control, and the majority of the match is still going on, so really all academic at this point, as Tornadoes will cruise to wins in both men's and women's tennis. Well, appreciate you joining us for this edition of Brevard College Tennis. We'll be out here again this coming Wednesday for a match versus Piedmont. Hope you can either join us here on this YouTube channel or come on out in person here at the McCoy Tennis Complex. Check out this beautiful facility and these fine student athletes here at Brevard College. Appreciate everybody who helped behind the scenes. Joseph Marvin, Jock Pledger, Cassidy Hutto, and appreciate you for tuning in for this edition of Brevard College Men's and Women's Tennis. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Go Tornadoes.